Hi guys, I am Stuti and this is Mera Wala Grief, a podcast for anyone dealing with loss. Once we accept the finality, that the person we love the most is no longer with us and there's nothing that we can do to change that fact. The one question that we keep thinking about is if life will ever become normal again for us. अगर हम एक बार फिर बिना गिल्ट के खुश हो पाएंगे या नहीं, क्या हम सच में उनके बगैर जी पाएंगे? uh, it's something that I have been tackling with myself. I lost my father a couple of months back, and this podcast we talk to people who trust us with their story, with their grief, and open up. आज एक बहुत special guest है, Hansal Mehta. He's an award-winning filmmaker, writer, director. His films have been loved by critics, masses alike. But today he's here as a son, talking about the loss of his father. Hansalji, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Thank you, Stuti.
I know मुश्किल होता है आपके लिए भी. I think we lost our fathers around the same time. Have you been able to make sense of it अभी तक?
नहीं, अभी भी कई बार ऐसा लगता है जैसे शायद फोन आ जाएगा उनका. So I keep hearing his voice because my father used to live in Pune. So एक अक्सर ऐसा लगता है कि still in Pune. He's not gone anywhere. He's in Pune और उनका फोन आ जाएगा. And I keep rewinding some of our last conversations, जहाँ he had called me and मैं मतलब he was 81. He was very fit, but he was becoming more and more childlike and very very ziddy. So I had to reprimand him. One of my last on phone was, I said, just take it easy, please. Don't behave like a child. And he said, why you getting upset with me? And that remains that that the last perhaps one of the last conversations we had was where I was perhaps a bit upset. I sounded a bit upset to him. And then the next I met him was at the hospital where he was complaining about the air conditioning in my room, saying it's too cold. So I haven't switched on the AC ever since almost. And so you keep thinking that maybe he's going to call, and there's certain decisions you're taking in life where you want your parent to be around, like buying a new car. So I just bought a new car, and he was very keen on seeing it, but he came to Bombay and was admitted to the hospital, could not see my car. And I bought him a new car some months back. I sold it. It was too painful. The memory of having that car around was very painful. So I sort of just surrendered the car.
I have not met him. I remember seeing your post that you had written saying, Papa, I always thought you'll outlive me. And I've seen his pictures, and he he's such a charming man, so good looking, and genuinely comes across as extremely gentle. अभी जितना आपने मुझे बोला, you're also trying to cope, right? You don't know, like there are memories, there are a car that you couldn't bear looking at, which you sold. You can't switch on the AC. With people who are grieving, generally आसपास के लोग बोलते हैं ना कि हाँ, मतलब एक grieving period, एक mourning period होता है 13 दिन 40 दिन, और फिर you have no choice but to move on. You have to work. That's what life is. यही जीवन में होता है. You've started work. How is it? Because from my own experience, grief comes in waves. It hits you suddenly, bang in the middle of a work day. How has it been for you?
It's been difficult. The pandemic adds to it. You see, I have a very old relationship. एक बहुत पुराना रिश्ता है grief के साथ. since many years I've been losing uh, near ones, dear ones.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, one of the biggest losses I ever had was my mother when I lost her in 2012. It was just before
Hmm.
my life took a new turn,
Yeah. Yeah.
so post Shahid.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I have always lived with that, and I've tried to sort of compensate for it by including my father in anything that was happening
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
my life.
Hmm.
I like for the national awards, I took him to Delhi. I ensured that he was there, he was comfortable, and that we could celebrate that moment together.
Hmm. Hmm.
I did not want to leave any happiness uncelebrated, mm, uh, you know, any happiness that was to be celebrated without him. That I
Hmm.
had done enough of that without my mother,
Hmm.
and I was trying to compensate for that. अब तो compensate करने का भी कोई मौका नहीं मिल रहा है. There's
Hmm.
nobody you can compensate it with.
Hmm.
I am living in the reality that I am the oldest in the family now,
Hmm.
and mm, it's. But I think it's a cycle. I'm fortunate. Many of us are fortunate that we are filmmakers, that we are getting to tell stories,
Hmm.
and through the stories somewhere, I'm able to sort of not mend, but I'm able to work on my broken heart
Hmm.
somewhere through those stories, through mm, the lives that we are representing on in our stories, through the grief that we are representing.
Hmm.
I'm able to sort of share my uh, grief with my characters.
Yeah.
So, kahin na kahin, I mean, I'm thankful for this make-believe world that we create, the illusion that we live in through movie making. If it was not there, it would have been very difficult.
Yeah.
बहुत मुश्किल होता.
Yeah.
The pandemic has made it even more
Hmm.
difficult because this. I'm not a big believer in rituals and uh, rasam rivas and all that. I
Hmm.
don't really
Hmm.
follow that. But I see the importance of it in such a time where at least the entire family congregates.
Yeah.
And
और वो हो नहीं पा रहा था. हाँ.
वो हो नहीं पा रहा है, where the whole family congregates, जो पूजा 13 दिन की चलती है, where everybody participates.
Yeah.
And that participation is a way of grieving. It's a way
Hmm.
of, slowly,
Yeah.
collectively saying goodbye to your loved ones. We were not able to do that fully.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
brother, who was so close to my father, he lives in Poland, so he has not been able to.
Hmm. Come.
He
Yeah.
could not visit. My sister came in, so the saving grace was that I could spend the kind of time I haven't
Hmm.
spent in
Hmm. Hmm.
years with my sister, and the rest of my extended family, my nephews, my nieces,
Yeah.
and
You've
all the
made
kids.
a yeah, you made a very important point क्योंकि एक तो होता है tackling grief, tackling the loss of a loved one, but ये जो बात आपने बोली है, especially this period, this year, when even the way we say goodbye to our loved ones, we've not been able to do it the way we want to.
Yeah,
और तब आपको वो सिग्निफिकेंट समझ में आता है कि क्यों लोगों के आना जरूरी है कि बाय द वो 13 दिन का चाहे वो पीरियड सिंबॉलिकली हो बट it's comforting and it's a cushion in its own way which so many people I know have have had a terrible time this year dealing with, but just to
on the
take you.
brighter side, just on the brighter side, I mean, Stuti, I must say, कि this kind of lonely time, उसमें social media, which we have the much maligned
Yeah,
social media,
yeah,
it's been
yeah.
a real, I mean,
It's
it's
a
been very soothing.
revelation how it's come on. Yeah,
It's very soothing, and so many people with whom I've had differences, I've had arguments.
yeah,
At your time of grief, I've had messages from all of them. I've had calls,
yeah.
so many messages on social media, and I was very moved by that. That ultimately, in the wake of all the things that are going on around us,
Hmm.
humanity still exists, and humanity
Yeah,
wins.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, the
That's
going
very true.
away of a loved one also reminds you of the existence and the importance of humanity.
Yeah, 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 yeah. that's very true. Just to take you back a little, जिस तरीके से आपने बोला that you lost your mother at a time when you wish that she was alive to see how your life had changed and to witness that success, and she would have been so happy. uh, Losing a parent is tough. That's when you experienced it for the first time. क्या अभी का ये जो grief है after you lost your father, is it different? Did that prepare you for this, or it hits differently because nothing?
Nothing prepares you. Nothing prepares you for this kind of loss. I honestly felt my father would outlive me. He was such a fighter. Mm, you know, and he hardly. I mean, Uh, he was far more. He had far more ailments than my mother. My mother had no ailments.
Mm,
She was diagnosed with cancer, and within 3 days of chemotherapy, she passed away. So she had no time to really ail.
mm,
She was always on the go. My father, on the other hand, has been dealing with ailments since he was 40, but he has fought. He's such a fighter, and that there was this amazing, spirit of self-preservation. So he
yeah.
left me with that. I mean, I decided that at least if not outlive my father, I should, uh, you know, try to at least live life the way he did.
He
He
did.
lived with a very positive spirit towards life. He never, I mean, after my mother passed away, we were very worried about him that
Mm,
he would grieve and he would not survive. Uh, we were so dependent on my mother. It was on the eve of the 50th anniversary that
mm,
she passed
mm,
away.
mm,
So, and his grief, we could not even see his grief. It was very heartbreaking. But he picked up the pieces, and I mean, he retired from active working only in September 2020. When he
yeah.
was unwell, I had taken him to the hospital, and he said, my contract expires on the 29th of September. I said, why are you still working?
Mm,
He says, well, if I don't work, I'll die.
mm,
So that spirit to keep to not hang your boots, to not and that I think kept him going. He did not have any kind of dementia, nor did he have any memory loss. Mental
mm,
health was very, very strong, and I mean he lived his life fully. Uh, he had a he had a girlfriend. He had a heartbreak. He had
yeah.
all the things that we experience as young people, and he was going through that kind of life all over again.
Mm,
And I used to love seeing that. I mean, the day he came to Bombay, he was not feeling too well, but he wanted to drive down to Gujarat. So he came, and I was in Lonavala. So he called me and said, he asked me to. He opened my bar and said, "What whiskey should I drink?" So I said, "Just take anything, whichever you want." He said, "No, no, you
mm,
choose one." So he had a drink the night before he
mm,
left. So I think you know one thing is always there that you will. I believe that I should be celebrating his life.
yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
left me with that. Even after my mother passed away, I mean, he lived life like a celebration. That every
Mm,
day that you have, I think death is very important. It teaches you a lesson about living,
mm, mm,
and
mm,
I think it leaves behind a lot of living people, and with a lesson about uh, life and its
mm,
importance, and its uh, the need to be more generous, more giving,
yeah.
more
Yeah.
loving in your while you're breathing. Otherwise it'll be too late.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is what it has left me with.
Mm,
There is grief, but there is also this amazing realization that now every moment that I have, I must
mm,
celebrate,
mm,
I must enjoy, I must give as much as possible,
yeah.
whatever I
Yeah.
can.
Parents, चाहे आप छोटे हो या बड़े हो जाए, for them you're always kids, and they always say, जब हम चले जाएंगे तब तुम समझोगे या तब तुम करोगे, and there's so many things that even I do now that probably I argued with him then, but I do it unquestioningly now, because I just feel like probably he's watching over me and he'll probably be happy because I'm doing what he wants me to do. You have your own kids, you're a father, you have your family. When you have your own little island, तब क्या दर्द कम होता है पेरेंट
नहीं
को
मुश्किल
लूज
होता है
करने का?
इनफैक्ट इट्स वेरी टफ बिकॉज स्पेशली इंडिया इज वन प्लेस वेयर द फैमिली is so closely
Yeah.
interlinked. So my son Jay was very close to my father.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
he called him Papa.
Hmm.
So he grew up uh, treating my father as his father.
Hmm.
He still doesn't call me dad.
Hmm.
So that. So he's felt as orphaned as I did when he
Hmm.
lost my father. So his grief. Then my daughters were very close to him. My
Hmm.
younger daughter, who's 12, Rihanna, used to play with him a lot. She used to,
Hmm.
while we were busy in the rigmarole of our lives,
Hmm.
running around,
Hmm.
when he would visit, Rihanna would make it a point to spend time with him. Kimaya, my older daughter,
Hmm.
the two
Hmm.
girls would spend a lot of time with him. So the day he passed away, I mean, the most difficult thing for me was to break the news to the girls. And you know, it was their first experience of
Hmm.
death
Yeah.
firsthand, And my older daughter insisted on coming to the cremation, on, grieving. But it has been difficult for them. It has been difficult. The processing of the grief has been very, very tough. I mean, that breaks my heart even more. To live with the grief around you and to know that they have to go through this. It
Hmm.
is inevitable. It's a cycle that all of us will have to. I cannot relieve them of that grief. I
Yeah.
cannot. I can only be around to uh, help them process it.
Hmm.
But they will process it in their own
Yeah.
way. Whether it's Jay, whether it's so. End in your wake,
Hmm.
and I think that is the key to processing. To having family around. I mean, yes, they help you deal with it, but at the same time, you help each other to
Each
deal.
other. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you, a lot of people are stuck where you have to be strong for others. Hannah, like here, you said you were more worried about how you break the news. You realize you're the eldest in the family. You have responsibilities, and yet you have your pain. You have lost your father. You want to grieve in your own way. Um, people, you're a storyteller. Art एक therapeutic तरीके से it helps you cope with pain also. But have you managed to feel him? Like people say, oh, they'll come in your dreams, or you feel them, or what is the story that you have told yourself that is keeping you together?
I'm a bit realistic about this. About I'm a bit
Is it
rational.
because you've seen it? Is it because that's the person or you are, or you've seen so much pain that now you can
No, I'm
rationalize it?
I try to rationalize this pain, and also death. So life and death, it's the eternal question that you deal with,
Yeah.
mm, you know. And I mean, I've always dealt with it through my stories. There's most of my stories have dealt with people, you know, uh, losing their lives,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
and leaving behind what we call, their impressions, what we call the soul,
Yeah.
their imprint on the universe. And I think we live with that imprint. And I see it philosophically that he has left his imprint uh, in within each of us. And I I know that nothing is going to bring him back. And whether I see him in my dreams or whether I hear his voice, and whether my daughters look up in the skies and look at the stars, I know that this is only there are only two permanent things: birth and death.
Yeah.
uh, you know so the impermanence of life and the permanence of mm, death, it's something that all of us have to go through.
Hmm.
And uh, and that's what makes life what it is, and that's what makes life so important, that
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
span that you live. so important. So I mean, that's what I said. His spirit, his zest for life is what he has left behind. That imprint
Mm, mm,
uh, sort of keeps you going. When I started working uh, almost a week after he passed away,
mm.
and within 15-20 days, I've been shooting for my film, preparing and shooting for my film. And I think that is the best therapy.
Yeah.
That is the best. I mean, immersing yourself in a story. I feel fortunate immersing yourself in a story,
Mm,
surrounding yourself with people who have emotional depth. That keeps you going.
mm,
It's a very, it's a very fearful moment. That moment of reckoning, that small moment where
yeah.
somebody calls you and says he's no more.
Mm,
And so that moment between that time and the time you sort of say goodbye to the person, at the cremation grounds. I mean, that moment is, it's horrifying. It's a horrifying moment, and it is also a very defining moment.
mm, mm.
And uh, you know I think I've learned to live with it, and I also have understood that some years later it's going to be me, uh, and it's all of us. This is our journey, and this is our journey, and I think it's what death teaches you is the importance of the entire journey that you call life.
You're speaking like a philosopher, like a saint, and there's a lot of depth in what you're saying. But मैं पूछूंगी कि do you ever feel burdened that you're the man of the family, head of the family, a man you can't cry, you can't break down, you can't soften?
No, no.
Has that also pushed you
No,
to
no.
to?
I don't think that way. Matlab, I am the softest in the family. My sister is perhaps the strongest. Mm. And so I break down very easily, and I don't. mm I mean, I try not to hide my feelings. You know, I'm expressive. I cry. I grieve. I behave like a kid, and it's okay. It's okay
Mm,
to be that way. I've learned.
mm,
My parents have taught me that. That's what
yeah.
they've left me with. That weight, and luckily
Mm,
we have grown up that way. Our
mm,
family has never pressured us in my parents have never pressured us into being unnecessarily duty bound,
mm, mm.
unnecessarily burdened by what conventional familial
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
duties. They've always said um, that do what you feel is right at
Mm,
that moment.
mm,
Doesn't matter if the world doesn't accept it.
mm, mm.
So I mean, that has given it's a life lesson that has continued. So I've seen my father crying so often. I mean, when he broke down after my mother passed away, I mean, we both cried together. And
Yeah.
you see, my relationship with my father was not. Uh, it's a very difficult. With my mother, it was very expressive. With my
Mm.
father, it was. I was forced to be expressive because she was gone. My
Right.
siblings had a more mm, you know tactile and a more expressive relationship with my
Mm.
father. I had a slight
You were
barrier.
slightly scared of him.
Not scared of him. There was a barrier. I mean, we used to talk a lot, but
Mm.
we used to get onto each other's nerves also often.
Yeah. Did the
And
nature of the relationship change after your mother left? Did you then try
I
and?
tried, but I felt it was unnatural. I said,
Mm.
इतने सालों के बाद suddenly to be a different person
Yeah.
is not something I can do, nor can he do. It'll make us uncomfortable. So we continued being the way we were with each other. I
Mm.
mean, we cared. I was the first one every time he was unwell or anything, but I could not be expressive.
Yeah.
And but I think he got it. I think
Mm.
he got it. He over the last 2 years was very expressive, and he was
Mm.
constantly
Mm.
being grateful to me. I mean, and
Yeah.
that broke my heart. That
Mm.
I used to keep saying that you don't have to be grateful for anything. I
Mm.
mean, if at all, I have to be grateful that you've given us this life, and you've given us this amazing ability to make such difficult choices, and
Mm.
you've given us that freedom to make these choices. Why are you grateful to me? So I mean, material things. So when I gave him the car, I remember he could not sleep, and he kept coming. He said, I don't deserve it. I said, what do you mean you don't deserve it? you
Mm.
know I said, this is all. I mean, I wish I'd given it to you earlier when mom was there, that both of you could have gone out in it.
Yeah.
And I could not. And, that I will regret that, but at least let me not regret it right now. Help me do that. I mean, I remember it was so tough. And after that, when he took the car back, he traveled all over Gujarat to show off the car to all his friends. It was his biggest ambition in life to own a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
And so uh, you know, Uh, I did not have that much money, but in December, I somewhere there was an intuition. I felt uh, that I don't know how much time there's. I don't know why that thought came, and uh, with the help of a friend, I borrowed some money. I picked up the car and I took him to the showroom and gifted him the vehicle, and he was very shaken up. He said, why do I? You should have it. You deserve it. I said, no, it's not for me. It's your car.
Mm.
And it took him 2 3 days to process that, but I'm glad at least I could do that much. And he just kept calling me saying I'm grateful. I said, if you call me again and say this, I will stop talking to you. I will not. I don't want to speak to you. But that, I mean, that so somewhere he knew that I cared, but I could not say it. I could not say. He knew I cared. He knew I loved him, but I never told him in that many words. With my mother,
Mm.
I said it all the time. I used to sleep on her lap. I used to, till 2 days
Yeah.
before she passed away, I slept on her lap. So I had that relationship with my mother. And as a kid, also, I used to communicate through her. So
Mm.
it became all the more difficult because I was closest geographically to my father. And I had to suddenly, it was a very difficult transition that I
Yeah.
had to deal with my dad without her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we worked on it. I think my wife helped somewhere. She sort of made up in many ways for that,
Mm.
for my mother's
Mm.
uh, loss by being the. So he would not call me; he would call her.
Mm. Mm.
you know, and he would, and then he would call, the house help and say, I know he's busy, but just find out if he's okay. So
Mm.
you do the small things, and I mean,
Parents have a
he
way
was a.
of, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the after he passed away, I kept getting calls from all these people, and all the entire week before he passed away, he had called all his childhood friends, people he had not called for years. He had
Mm.
called all of them, and everybody said, "Oh, I spoke to him last week only. He was totally fine." I said, "He called you?" He says, "Yeah," and he took the number of that person that he used to play cricket with as a kid. So he called all those people. I mean, hundreds of people called me. Said he spoke to us last week. So somewhere, I
Yeah.
think he was sort of
Yeah, the
going
premonition. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
premonition in his life. He was taking his life back to where it began.
Yeah. Yeah.
Towards the end, you sort of go back where it began. So I was seeing that, and it was uh, just to see that so many people he had touched so many people, so many lives. Was beautiful. I mean, it was, he just left behind a beautiful life, and that beautiful life is what, uh, you know, as children we have. It's a gift that
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
parents have given.
Yeah.
And I don't remember a parent being mean or bad to anyone. He was not a
Mm.
rich man. He was not a, we were very middle class family. But I remember this line from Death of a Salesman. I used to watch Death of a Salesman, and I used to be reminded many times of my father. That when we were kids, he was a born salesman. He would be
Mm.
always selling something. He would go and he would come home and in front of us always be very optimistic. I've got this big order today, and this has happened, that has happened. And I would know later that he's just trying to make us happy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the reality is that he is struggling. And and I used to feel very bitter about it. I never took up a job in my life because I said I don't want to be like my dad.
Mm.
You you grow up saying that, I don't want to be like him.
And then you want to be, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then when he goes, and you say, I was
I
even a
wish I was
fraction
like, yeah,
of
yeah.
what he was. And that there's a line in Death of a Salesman where his wife tells the sons that, he was a good man. And and that's what matters. I mean, he was a good man.
You, have you managed to balance guilt or regret? Do you have any?
Regrets, I mean, your life is a it's a mm, basket. It's a big wardrobe full of regrets. It's a house full of regrets. So, but I've learned to live with that. As a filmmaker, you learn to live with regret, because every film you make, you regret that maybe this could have been better. So, थोड़ा regret, regret से रिश्ता एक filmmaker का बहुत गहरा होता है. But yeah, then you live with the guilt that maybe I could have been more nice to him. I could have that why did I argue with him just 3 days before he passed away? Small things like that. It remains with you. I mean, I keep his last, like, 24 hours before he passed away, when we met him at the hospital, we sat with him. He told me this. He said, why have you brought me to the hospital? You don't have to save me every time. I said, I am no one to save you.
Yeah.
He says, let me go now. I said, no, you don't have to. And then we started chatting. He said, okay, then fix your AC and all that. And we started chatting about that. And that voice still runs in my head.
Yeah.
That you think maybe he could have been in this hospital, because few days
Yeah.
later, Dilip Kumar Saab was uh, admitted to Leelavati Hospital with the same condition.
Mm, mm,
That it's called pleural effusion. So he
mm.
was with exactly the same condition, and he went back home. So you sort of feel that, oh, Leelavati
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just next to my house. Maybe Dr. Parker could have saved him. You have all these
yeah. You
random
want to go
thoughts.
back and you retrace your steps, which is
Yeah, but I don't dwell that much. I try to live life as much as possible. But you know, I realized one thing, when after my mother passed away, no achievement. I mean, I got the National Award a year and a half later, after she passed away, and that was all that she. When she passed away, when she was conscious, I'd gone to Lucknow for half a day, and she had told my uh, siblings that, I'm really worried about Hansel. Uh, and all these years he's been struggling, and nothing's really working for him. And a year and a half later, I mean, when I won, I found it so, I was so empty when I went up to get that award. All I wanted was to see her.
yeah. And for her to see this, because nobody really celebrates
That
our successes
Yeah,
like our
that
parents.
I
Yeah,
wanted that one moment. And after I won it, my father said, mommy must be happy. And that has always been, I mean, those are the things, those moments where you want to celebrate. I mean, I'm things are going well right now for me, and I wish I was there. I have enough money in my account for the first time in my life, and I wish they were around for me to share it with them. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't matter. The money doesn't matter much to me. They've spent their entire life, their entire
yeah,
savings trying to bring up their children. And I mean, when I could do something for them, they're not around. And that's the circle of life, and that's the circle of regret you always live with.
yeah. Yeah. I'll just end with a question. It might come across as strange, but so many people I know इस period में who've lost both their parents. Um, do you still remember your mother? और अब आप ये दोनों grief, एक जो नया है और एक जिसके साथ रहने की आदत हो गई थी, कैसे negotiate करते?
My mother is irreplaceable. I still feel her presence all around me. I sleep with a picture next to me. It's accompanied now by my father's picture. But no, it's irreplaceable, the loss of your parents. I mean, and I could see that. You see, I experience it from my children. Like when I see my younger daughter, one day, my wife came to me saying that she's, sobbing away. She's crying a lot. I said, why? She said, she's worried about you. She's worried about losing you now. So I went to her and I said, I'm right here. I'm okay. You see, I exercise, I do this. I'm trying to look after myself. So she said, no, but what if you go away? And I saw my own grief through her, uh, and her worry. And there's nothing I can do to assure her that, I'm going to live for the next 100 years. I can't tell her that because she knows that it's so inevitable. Today I'm talking to you, today I'm alive, and one day I'm going to be ashes.
We all understand how ephemeral all of this is, and how we very little control on what is happening around us. But thank you so much, Hanselji, for opening up and sharing your thoughts and your pain with all of us. From what I can make out, you have found a rhythm, and your art has helped you in it, to live with this pain, and somehow carry it within you and turn it to your strength. Those who are listening to us, who are watching this, anything you would want to tell them from your experience that might help them cope with their grief.
It's very difficult to tell, grief mein na, you always say words are a very poor
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
way of consoling. I can see you still grieving, Stuti, and I don't know how to even what to say. I think the biggest way to comfort each other is to talk to each other, to know that we humanity exists in each of us, and we are there for each other, even if you're a stranger, if you're grieving. you know we must find ways to reach out to you. We must find ways to talk to each other. You know you आप आपका गम जो है आप उन्हीं से बांट सकते हो जो आपके करीब है. So
True.
don't in this material life, don't uh, you know uh, distance yourself from your closed ones.
Mm, true. I think uh, you're a very wise man, and there's lots of little gems that you've shared today. Thank you so much. Thank you for trusting us with this.
Thank you, Stuti. Thank you for making my heart lighter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And your parents, I know nobody really is as happy to see us succeed as our parents do, but they would know, and they'd be very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Stuti.
you.
God bless. Bye.
Thank you.